Welcome to Market Research and Strategy Planning, everybody. I'm Steve Fritzenkotter, your instructor, and there's a short video about me that you can access if you want. Basically, I have been teaching for quite a long time in college and undergrad and graduate courses. And I also have in marketing specifically, and I have a market research firm that I run, and we do digital marketing as well. So I want to be able to share what I've learned through my business and with you. And I'm looking forward to you sharing what your experiences as well. So I think we can learn from each other. Um, I'm doing this right now. Typically, I would do this live in a Zoom meeting, but I'm going to be completely out of town next week on a train. So my internet access is going to be hit and miss. So I can't probably be at one place at one time to run a Zoom meeting. So I'm doing this recorded version right now. And so that's what I want to show you, basically go over what I would do in the live Zoom meeting. We are not going to have meetings every week. We will have them every couple of weeks. We'll go over content of the course and any questions you would have during those. So module 1 is really going to focus on market research, and market research is a cornerstone of this course. No marketing effort or marketing plan should ever be started without market research to back up the assumptions made in the plan. So I'm a firm believer in this, and so that's why this course is sort of a general course, if you will, about marketing, but it touches on a lot of areas. But the common thread throughout this course will be market research. And then the subsequent courses you're going to take in this certificate program will become more specific on digital marketing and things like that. So I want to touch on an important concept here, and this is the 6 steps of market research. This is very important because every market research plan has these 6 steps. It doesn't matter if you're working for Google or Apple or for a small coffee shop and you want to expand your business. You're going to be using these 6 steps. I'm just going to introduce these to you quickly, and then we're going to go over into the course itself, and I want to show you what to look for the first week. And so the 6 steps of market research. First, you have to identify a problem. So what is the problem the management of the firm decides you have a problem you need to answer. Another way of looking at the market research problem is the question you want to answer. So that's what we need to do. And everything we do then from then on with the other 5 steps are going to be revolving around solving the problem. So, or answering your research question. A research question could be very simple. It could be something like, I want to start a small restaurant. I want to start a restaurant, and I want to know if there's enough market potential for this restaurant. So that's my research problem. Would there be enough customers to support this business? So research problems can be very simple. They can be a little more complex. For the purposes of this course, it's going to be probably more simple. For developing your research approach, which is step number 2, and this is how you're going to solve your problem. You're going to use the tools and mechanisms you have available to you to develop your approach. In this class, we're going to be working on developing a survey and some best practices for that. And we're going to use Google Forms for that process. Some of you may have used Google Forms as a survey tool. Others have used SurveyMonkey. We're going to use Google Forms for this class because there's no subscription issue with that. So it's always free. So Google Forms, the approach in this class is going to be basically given. It's going to be, you're going to conduct a survey, which we call that primary research. And you're also going to do some secondary research, which is searching for uh, important facts that will support your primary research, such as using Google Trends to see what trends are that will support your research project. So that's going to be basically given to you as well. We're going to go through that in this course in subsequent weeks. And then there's going to be designing the research. So the way you would design it in this case, if you're going to we're going to use survey research, it's going to be designing your survey mechanism or survey tool. So there's a certain strategy in doing that to leverage the most effectiveness from the research from the survey. If you build it right, and I'm going to show you some best practices there, which I think you'll be able to take with you into other applications in your career as well. Then there's collecting the data, which is step 4. So you have your designed research mechanism, in this case a survey. Then you need to identify a sample, a random sample for an audience that will take the respondents that will take the survey. And there's a science behind that. We're going to be going over that and understanding the science behind it. And then we're going to, step 5, there's going to be, you're going to take the data, and then Google Forms and SurveyMonkey do the same thing. They basically take your data that you've inputted and create charts and graphs. And then you can analyze, instead of a sheet of numbers, it'll show you images, charts and graphs, pie charts, things like that, bar graphs. And then you can convert data you collect it into information at that point. So when you analyze the data, you are producing information. And that information is reported and presented. And it really depends on who you're presenting it to. If it's a client, you need to be talking on their level. If it's the classroom like we're in, and you're going to be presenting to me and to your fellow students, then that's, you're going to be, that's the presentation part of it. So we are going to be doing these 6 steps just as a major enterprise business would, or a small business would. So that being said, we're going to go over those are the 6 steps, and there's going to be a discussion question on week 1 this week. So about the 6 steps. And I'm going to go over each one of these because you're going to see this. This is week 1. Week 1 starts on Monday, ends on Sunday. And so the important thing to the weekly treatment of our course is it's going to be the same thing every week. You're going to see content, discussion, activity, assignments, quizzes. You're going to see that throughout every week. So you're going to see a repeating format, which I think is good. Just because I want you to focus more on the course content than trying to figure out how the course works. Remember, everything is in the modules. Everything is in the modules, okay? That's important to know that and important to follow that. I'm going to go into student view. So this is going to be exactly what you're seeing. Forget this pink line at the bottom, but this is what you see. You see the same menu here. There's going to be announcements. I'm going to have at least 1 announcement a week. The announcements should be going to your personal email. So I hope they do. They should be going there. And the whole course is taught in the modules. So this is the modules here. And then if you want to break out the assignments or break out the discussions, look at your grades, this will be activated when we do actually have a Zoom meeting. So that'll be happening. And there is no textbook for this course per se. There is, you can learn about me here, but I've already pretty much told you about myself, but there's a video there. there is no textbook. With the rapid change and the constant change in the field of marketing, in my opinion, uh, the by the time a textbook is is written and published, it's out of date. And it's sort of like a computer science class, same thing. Things change so fast that if you're learning from a traditional textbook, it's probably 2 years out of date. So I try to, what I do is come up with relevant readings. And when we go into the content, which is sort of what you're going to be doing that particular week, there is readings that the written lecture for me, which pretty much goes over what we just did. And then there's the with when I showed you the 6 steps of market research. Then there's some other relevant uh, uh, articles I'd like you to read. And then there's a in most of the workshops there's a video, which when you click on this, it'll go over pretty much what I just talked about, but it'll sort of do it in more of a animated way. I don't want to do it right now because it may not, it may slow down the transmission. But there's a hint. I want you to watch these videos. There's interactive quizzes inside, which you're not graded on. But the hint is that when you play these, the questions that are asked are, going back to the modules now, are going to be very similar to the quiz question. So the quiz questions will be right out of that video, okay? And then there's always going to be a discussion question. What I ask is that, and there's due dates associated with all of these. I would like the initial discussion answer that you give or initial response you give. I would like it to you just push reply down here and you would be able to post your answer to this discussion question. What I want you to do is I want you to uh, answer the question, but also respond to 2 other people, fellow students. You can pick any ones you want, just two that keeps everyone involved in the discussion. And I would like your initial response to be posted midweek, and I would like your answers to or substantive answers to any student, fellow student. I would like that sometime before the end of the week. If you want a grade for this by week's end, I need to see your, because I get grades in very quickly, you'll find. And so but I need those 2 comments to other to fellow students in order for me to give you full points on this. Let's go back. So that's the discussion. You're going to see the same thing every week, the same treatment. Activity is a little bit different. There's no points associated with activities. But this week, and this is kind of an important thing I wanted to go over with you. This has to do with a course project. Each week, you're going to be building a project. You can work within a team of 2 to 3 people, or you can work individually. And what I find, and this is consistent with every time I teach this course, and I teach it every quarter. I've been doing this for a number of years now. Every single time, half the class works in teams, other half the class would rather work individually. It's really up to you. But in this first week, I would like you to brainstorm in this forum. So this is the activity forum. I would like you to identify and throw out some ideas for a small business you would like to focus on for this course project. And here's some ideas. I mean, it could be a local business in Irvine. It could be, like you could be starting up a small brewery for beer or a winery or a coffee business or a tea business, Airbnb, or maybe some kind of Uber business. I mean, what I need you to do is to come up with something. You put your creative hats on and try to come up with ideas. And maybe as you post here, others will chime in and go, you know, I'd like to work with you on that project. Or maybe you'd like to do a research project um, and on a real business that you work in. Maybe you're thinking of launching a project. I mean, I'm sorry, launching a product or service, and you'd like to perhaps conduct some research and do that sort of thing. So each week, there's going to be activities here in the activity forum. So, but this is what we're doing this week, and so I'd like to get a lot of posts here because I'd like to see what you're thinking and about a project. And if you get stuck, I can help you, no problem. And then also each week there's a short assignment. Um, it's going to vary each week, but this first week there's no real assignment that you're going to see. But every week I'm going to ask you to record a paragraph. This is an individual assignment now. This is individual, a paragraph of what you learned for that particular week, just a summary of what you learned. And then here you're going to submit that here. And then what I'm going to want you to do is each week you're going to be asked to do this as part of your assignment. It won't be the whole assignment. There'll be other things to do, but each week I'm going to ask you to submit something relative to, and you'll be prompted to do this relative to what you learned that week. And then at the end of the course, I'm going to be asking you to combine what you've built throughout the class as far as the different takeaways from each week into one document, which will be your learning journal. Okay, so each week you build that and just follow the instructions here. And again, this week, all you're doing is a learning journal, but next week there's going to be another assignment plus this learning journal. I'm only looking for a paragraph per week or however you want to record that. And generally there's some questions on this. So I'm not, obviously I can't answer them, but you can put that in the Q&A forum. Let's go back to the modules. And again, we're in week 1. And so then there's going to be the quiz. And again, if you watch that video and do the practice quiz in the video that you're prompted to do, I think you'll do well in the quiz here. So each week you're going to get the same exact thing happening. If you have any questions, you can post them here in the course Q&A, or if you'd rather be private about it, you can go ahead and just send me an email. And my email is posted here in the So you're going to get announcements every week, I'm going to be posting this video in the announcement forum. So it's going to be a link, and that's where it's going to be. So any other questions ask them here primarily. The reason I'd like you to go here is because other students may learn from your question. So if that's a good question. So I hope that makes sense, and I look forward to working with you. And we will be having Zoom meetings, live Zoom meetings in this course, not every week, but because it's an asynchronous course. One thing I do ask you to do is stay on track. We start on Monday, we end on Sunday each week. I don't want you to skip work and then have to do it all in one week. You won't be successful if you do that. You will be successful if you keep everything in front of you. And when something is due, get it in, and then you'll be good. So I look forward to seeing your ideas this week on the course project. And so again, you may work as individually or as a team, looking for ideas there. And I think that's it for now. And I look forward to working with you, and I will see you in the classroom. I'm going to be checking you in the discussions and also in the class introductions. I'm looking forward to learning about you. So have a good week.